Hello and welcome. Today we are going to deploy a Springboot application in Amazon EC2 instance. So I have a Springboot application which I would like to deploy in Amazon EC2 instance. Whenever you launch a new EC2 instance, it's always going to be attached with a security group. And the security group and EC2 instance itself is going to be inside VPC. VPC is a virtual private cloud, and whenever you launch a new EC2 instance, AWS by default creates a default VPC for you. So any user who wants to use your application will send the request, and it will go through VPC first, then to security group, and then finally it will reach to your EC2 instance. And that's where your Springboot application is deployed. In order to allow this end user to use your Springboot application, you have to ensure that port 80 is opened at VPC level. If you are using default VPC, it is already taken care of. So basically you don't need to do anything here. Then you also need to open port 80 at security group level, and then finally you need to map port 80 of your EC2 instance with port 8080. So this is required because whenever you launch a Springboot application, by default it will be using port 8080. If you don't map port 80 with port 8080, then the request will not be able to reach to your application, and then it will always be declined and it will not work. So this is all we are going to do. With this, let's go to lab, where I will be creating a new EC2 instance and will be deploying this sample Springboot application. So for the lab exercise, I have a demo application. So if I hit this endpoint, you see it returns hello cloud and tech. This is my sample Springboot application, just a get API which returns hello cloud and tech. So let's go to AWS console. I will go to instances. You can see that I have 2 instances already running, so do not worry about that. I'm going to launch a new EC2 instance. Yes, then I will just go to the next configuration. I'm just going with the default configurations. This is the security group we were talking about. So you have a choice to select some existing security group, or you can create a new one. So I will just go ahead and create a new security group. I will name it as Springboot security group. You will launch. Here you can create your new key pair, or you can use some existing key pair if you already have. So I'm just going to use existing key pair here. Yes, so now this EC2 instance is in pending state. I will pause the video until this goes to green, that is in running state. Okay, so this is our newly created EC2 instance. Now it is in running state. I will go here and just capture the public IP, and then currently I'm logged in with my Windows machine, so I will be using Git bash to log into this machine. So here is my Git bash, and the first thing I will be doing is I will copy my local Springboot jar to newly launched EC2 instance. Let's go ahead and use scp command and copy the jar in the remote location. So this will copy my Springboot jar in the newly launched EC2 instance. I'll just wait for this to complete. Okay, now let's go ahead and check if it's really copied. So I will be using ssh command to log into my EC2 instance. and I will just check. Okay, so here it is. As you can see, the local jar is copied in my newly launched EC2 instance. Now the next step is we cannot run this jar without having Java on this machine. So if I go ahead and check the Java version on this machine, you will see that it's not found. So there is no Java on this newly launched EC2 instance. I will go ahead and I will install Java. The Springboot application which I have built is using Java 11, so I will be installing Java 11 on this machine. Okay, so okay, so if I check Java version now, as you can see, Java 11 is available now, and now I can launch my Springboot application. Okay, so now this application is running on port 8080, as you can see here. So now let's go ahead and review our changes which we had discussed in the beginning. So we are here. As you can see that, you know, now we have deployed our application, Springboot application. Now we have to ensure that the port 80 is security group. So let's go ahead and make this change. This is my newly launched EC2 instance. I will go to security, and this is the security group which is being used by this EC2 instance. So I will go ahead, and as you can see, currently only port 22 is open here, and as per our discussion, we see that we have to open port 80 on this security group. So I will just go ahead and edit the inbound rule, add rule, and this is HTTP. So I just go ahead, and you can select from anywhere. That's all. So just save this rule. So this part is taken care of now. And as I told in the beginning, if you are using the default VPC, this part is already taken care of, and we already have done this part. The last one is we have to map this port 80 with port 8080. So this is the last part which is pending. So let's go ahead and do this change. So I will go ahead and open a new git bash console here, and I will SSH to my machine. And then this is the command to map port 80 with port 8080. So I just go ahead. Okay, so I see the problem. Here we go. So that's all. With this change, we are able to complete all the three things we have discussed here. So I expect that this application is going to work now. So I will just go ahead and capture this public IP address, and let's try to hit. Anyway, this is expected because our endpoint is this one. So here we go. So we got the message, and this completes the whole exercise. You have successfully deployed your Springboot application in AWS EC2 instance. Thanks for watching.